Over time, we've heard about releasing the golf club, and there's several different logics of it. Just from my study as being a player in the past and from being able to teach.
Great ball striker too.
So they say, yeah, I can't take credit for that, but obviously, yeah, I could hit the ball pretty good.
Yeah.
I just thought that this was the perfect way to release a golf club.
Okay.
So a lot of people that are familiar with my logics or ideas or seen my videos and books, I talk about the 430 path. So that's drill one. I wanted to explain that first up.
Okay.
So what I use is an impact bag. I have a big one because we're going to use it for all my drills. We learn to release the club. So the idea of the 430 path is, from my perspective, the golfer's view. If I had a big clock on the ground here and the middle of the clock was here, my feet would be at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
12 o'clock would be out where you are.
Yep.
And the 3 o'clock stick, which we have on the ground here, that would be a target line.
3 to 9 would be
Correct.
target line.
So right now we're talking 12 to 6. We're not talking on the other side of the clock.
Gotcha.
So we'd know that a poor golfer would tend to cast or get this club head out to that 3 o'clock path early in their downswing. And they would have to try and keep that club along that track to try and hit the ball.
So they would be kind of going 3 to 9, or maybe even 3 to like 8,
Yeah,
7,
it could
30.
go 3 to anywhere,
Right.
based on how long they try and hold that club on the delivery path.
Got it.
So we'd see all the good players would be more on the 430 stick.
Okay.
My feet are 6, there's 430. So it's just a visual, it's not 100% accurate, you don't have to be spot on here. But what we'll do is, that would be, as we would see in a lot of golf photos, that would be an ideal approach path. I have my arms torqued up, I have my little bit of body closure and tilt, and I have my wrist set. So we know from here, the club, if I unwind it really slow, the club tracks from 430 to 415 to 4 o'clock, and it starts and it actually gets square later in the release process. So that would be a late hit.
Okay.
I want you to find that position that we need to do.
Okay.
So if you look at me as you do this, first step would be take an address position and just rotate your forearms. So you should feel your right arm not go anywhere.
Yep.
And your left arm would raise, or left hand would raise a little bit.
Got it. So this upper part of my arm is just going to stay basically in front of my chest.
Correct.
My club's moving, my forearms are moving, are rotating, and my left arm, like you said, just pulls off.
Just raises a little bit.
Okay.
And what you'll find there is your right arm hasn't gone anywhere. And what do you feel in your left armpit? You feel probably a little bit of separation.
Yeah, some
So now
space
you've
there.
got room to rotate your arms.
Okay.
So that's step one. Step two would be to get the club on the 430 path. So you don't want to use your hands to do that. You just want to turn your upper body and face the stick.
I see.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm trying to keep this relationship of my arms relative to my body the same.
Correct. So your arms are still in front of your body. You've just turned your upper body, create a little bit of turn and a little bit of tilt. You've done that quite well there. A lot of people would still have the club too low. So remember, when we want to hit the ball, we need an angle. So the third part would be wrist set.
Got it. So I kind of naturally did that, but if someone might be like this,
Correct.
they need to set this up.
Set some angle up. If you just rotated your arms, felt your forearms turn, you would strike the club on the bag. There's your release.
I have this stick, we created this clock where that's 12 o'clock, I'm over by 6 o'clock, and I'm trying to get this club to match at 4:30. I love this because so often we're looking at swings from, say, a down the line view or face on from whoever's filming it, right? That perspective.
Absolutely.
So it's completely reframing the learning process in a lot of ways and how we look at a swing.
Visuals are really important, and a lot of people only see the visual from down the line or face on.
Yeah.
But you, as a golfer, you need to understand and see the visuals from your perspective.
Right. Okay, so set it, little turn to get there, to
Yeah.
get to this 4:30 spot, and then
You can also have your hands and arms a little bit further out in front of you. So you would try and feel from your view, like you said, your eye sockets. If you look down, you would maybe see that your hands visually look like they're out here.
I see.
But they're not. From the down the line view, they're actually still well inside the ball. But now you feel you have room to rotate and move your arms. Perfect. So when we're doing this, we're not trying to shove the hands forward. We're trying to really feel that the arms rotate. And as you do that, start to speed it up when you hit the bag.
So that would be shoving the hands
That would be dragging the handle.
But so many people hear about how we want lean in the shaft.
So I believe when you're at impact, if that was address, impact would not be my hands going forward. impact would be my lower body starting to go forward, and then it starts to open. So you could see if I push my hip forward, I can't keep going forward. So my hip would lateral and then open, and now that gives the illusion that my hands are forward, but technically it's not my hands that have done it.
Relative to everything else. It's
That's
more
right.
like everything, the lower body, everything's pressuring forward as opposed to me just trying to press my hands forward.
100%.
And you know, it's something we've talked a little bit about before too, is if you're here and you have this angle, you're really gonna almost working the problem backwards. We're only gonna create as much angle as we can get out by the time we get to impact as well.
For sure. So this is not only a release drill, it actually helps people with their downswings. So the idea of this drill is to learn to release the club late. And as I do that, I start to create the perfect acceleration near impact. Basically, if I can keep the shaft moving or accelerating, I'm always keeping pressure in the shaft.
Got it.
If I over-accelerate that club too soon, I lose the pressure in the shaft. So the idea of releasing this club late helps a lot of people on their downswings, that now they know they don't need the speed here, they can soften it out and start to release later.
Okay, so arms in front of the body, rotation of the forearm, feel a little bit of that lead arm coming off the chest, turn to get to 430, and then into the ball. I actually feel like that left arm kind of reconnects a bit.
Absolutely. So as your arms rotate, the upper arm now reconnects. So that's what makes the body start to move.
Next